Welcome to Streak, Philippines. Out for a walk. Oh, I see they mowed the area around the helipad. Let's walk out there. This housing development is a development by one of the richest men in the Philippines. At one time, I think he was, but I think things have kind of been revalued a little. I don't think he's the top anymore. This was mowed recently, because before, when I was over here, it was just tall grass. You couldn't even see back here, so maybe they're expecting a visitor. Josie went for beautification today, so I'm out for a walk, and there's really a nice breeze. Wow, really a nice breeze. It's kind of cloudy, cool, and it really feels great. I really like the sunshine. I'm really not much of an all clouds person, but I have to admit, it is delightful today. Haven't been back here for a while. Josie really isn't a walking person, and we really have to go somewhere on the e-bikes, and I enjoy e-biking, so that's what we do. But she doesn't really like to walk in the housing development much. I'm not exactly sure why, but I enjoy it because it's quiet, and it's really a change of pace from being out on the highway, on the road. Yesterday we went down Matungao, the road right out of Camellia here, and wow, it's like a dust storm, just like a dust storm. The Philippines is a very, very dusty place, so all the roads with the buses and the trucks, when we're out on our e-bikes, they really throw up a cloud for you to go through. And maybe you can tell my voice is a little gravelly today. And that's why I just wanted to take a walk today instead of being out on the e-bikes. And anyway, see what's new. I'm not sure why they have two guard stations here. This is phase 4. And I'm not exactly sure why they have 2. Now, back that direction, the houses are mostly small. They're very small. And you just have barely a few square meters in front of your house. And if we go this way, the houses are bigger. I'm not sure if it makes any sense. They have different security for a different type of house. But that may be the way it works. And this is the way we get our water. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's trucked in. Incredible. Off and on over the years, we've had so much trouble. And then when they built this phase 4, they dug a deep well, and they have a different water tower, which I'll show you in a few minutes. And when they did that, things seemed to be better for quite a while. But in the last year or so, they seem to be having a lot of difficulties again. And it doesn't seem as if, it seems as if they're trying to rely totally on their one deep well instead of the local water, which goes into the other water tower. That seems to be where the big problem was. I think they didn't want to pay the extra money to pay for water for the other water tower. But anyway, it would seem like it must be much more expensive to truck the water in. But that's what they're doing. Usually we see a truck outside the housing development waiting to come in, sits out on the road somewhere. There's one or two back here because it takes a lot of water to take care of this much housing. I'm not sure how many total units are here, but it's pretty expansive. They talked about a phase 5. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. I can't imagine. Somehow they got to get the water situation straightened out. And on the water situation straightened out, I will also say that the water company, which was also part of the same developers' assets, I guess you'd say. So he had his own water company, which feeds apparently like about 20% of the Philippines. Anyway, he is getting rid of, he sold that and somebody else is taking it over. So I don't know when that's going to be and when that's going to happen, but I don't think there's going to be any investment in anything until whoever takes over. There's some nice houses back here. One thing about living in the Philippines, you always have to work on your house. People are always working on their house. There's virtually no time when you can't see somebody with a pile of sand or a gravel out front to do some more work or sawing or banging or whatever it is. Because when you're in the Philippines, the weather just really takes a toll on everything. A lot of the concrete blocks they use now, I don't think the concrete blocks they use to build these houses are any better than the average stuff you buy. But they virtually dissolve in the rain. Well, there's another tower down there. Let's take a look at that. The main problem with the Philippines is it's cheap, which I know to a lot of Westerners seems like an advantage, but cheap is usually not cheap in the long run. Cheap is expensive because everything falls apart. Everything falls apart. It doesn't take long. This phase back here isn't that old. And without somebody living in it, things just really fall apart fast. You know, they require a considerable amount of maintenance to keep things from falling apart. It always surprises me. Things that I think must be 50 years old, it turns out they're like 15. But that's just the low quality and substandard materials, and also the weather. You know, the flooding and the sun. It just really, really, really takes a toll on your house. So it's not the kind of thing you can just buy and sit for 10 years. There's the other water tower I was talking about. That's the new one. Almost always when I walk back here before, there's been a truck filling it. I guarantee you in a few minutes there will be. Because it seems like they have to keep filling that round the clock to keep enough water. But it's been working well for us. And of course, right before they finally started trucking in the water, we put in a storage tank of our own. So we kind of solved the problem before that. And we had also bought some water for phase 3 in general because we had to fill up our storage tank. And the only thing we could buy was a whole truck of water. So we filled our tank up and give the rest away to everybody. But as you can see, some people do maintain their homes nicely, and it certainly can be done. One thing you really, really need in the Philippines, you need a helper. You really need a helper. I'll tell you, I had a helper when I first got here, and unfortunately, we didn't bring him along, and part of that is it's not a big long story, but it was a situation you might say. There's a dog down there. Well, I'll walk back there. He'll think I'm gonna attack him with the gimbal. Down one of these roads I walk down, a dog always wants to chase after me. But anyway, on the helper thing, you really do need a helper. But the big thing about that, oh, he's a friendly guy. She's a friendly guy. It's windy. I don't know how this is going to work out with the mic. I'm just using the phone, and then I'll try and screen some of the wind out. But we lost our helper when we moved here. He was really associated with the family that I had rented from, and they had visions of hooking me up with somebody other than Josie, I guess. So they weren't happy, and they passed that along to my helper, and then it became a difficult situation. So otherwise, I for sure would have brought him here. In fact, he was also a witness at our marriage. So it's kind of sad thing, but you need somebody that knows what's going on, who can easily find the parts you need, knows where to go to get them, knows how to do things. It's so much easier if you've got a helper, but you also got to have somebody that you can rely on and that you don't have to worry about. And that person was that way. And just finding somebody that for sure that you don't know, especially, it's kind of risky, because helper usually has the run of the house to take care of it, and you leave them there. You furnish food, money, everything else, and it requires trust. Doesn't always work out sometimes. Before we bought the condo, we were looking back here to see what was available. We did look at one back here. I don't think that's it, though. No, this looks like it's in pretty nice shape. Phase 4, Block 25A, Lot 2. Yeah, this is not the one I saw. They have a pressure tank back there, I see. Outside shower. San Nino. I gotta look up and see where that is. This one says the same thing. Have to see where that comes from. Anyway, they're keeping the tank full, that's for sure. Oh, you'd think they'd be flying a kite or something over here at the HELIPORT. There's not very many open places to fly a kite. I think my opinions on housing in the Philippines have kind of changed in the last couple of years. I used to be more critical than I am now. My opinions on the quality and things like that, substandard, just about everything is not changed, but maybe I accept the faults a little more. And there certainly are plenty of faults. As you can see, like in a housing development, the things just aren't maintained the way you'd hope they would be, you know? These walls fall down. They can stay that way for years. I passed one area that's coming up here. I should have shown you that, but there's a big hole. Now they trimmed the grass that was all over the sidewalk. They cut that, but there's a big drainage concrete slab that's missing. It's about 3 feet wide, and the thing is maybe 4 or 5 feet deep, down to the drain pipe, down to the storm drain, and it's completely wide open where you could just walk down the sidewalk and fall in. And that's the way it is, you know. But the reason I say I accept it more is because I really realize in these places, they have such a hard time getting people to pay the dues. And if the people don't pay the dues, and they can't collect the dues, then there's no way to make the improvements or maintain the place the way that you would like it to be. And in my opinion here, they really do make an effort. It is the lack of funds. And once these things are sold to homeowners, it's not really the developer's fault if the homeowners don't maintain it and don't pay the dues. And that really is what happens a lot of the time. Look at that cat watching me. He didn't like that I spied him up there in his little hidey hole. So I kind of accept everything warts and all the way it is. And I understand the situation. It's just that in the U.S., certainly, you would expect much better maintenance. You would expect the place to be maintained to a certain minimum standard, you know. And it just kind of seems like over time, things just go farther and farther downhill. So, but then again, you do get what you pay for, like I said. And these things are not incredibly expensive. I think back in 2014, I paid $37,000 for this, which was, I don't know, something like 1.8 million, I think, pesos. And the exchange rate, of course, since then has gone way up, so my dollars are worth a lot more than they were then. So in some ways, there's been a really nice advantage in the last few years with the pesos up around 58 to close to 60 at times. My money is worth a lot more than it was back then when it was like 43 and a half, I think. So it really is an advantage. And I use a credit card a lot. I use my U.S. credit card a lot because it gives me that exact exchange rate. Exact rate. It's like a bonus. It's like everything is a little bit on sale compared to if you just actually had the pesos. So it's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. So, you know, for a life that you're not spending a whole lot of money on, you can still have a decent house. And I don't exactly consider this house disposable, but I figure with what I've got into it, I've certainly got a good amount of living out of it. So overall, I'm less critical than I used to be. Wow, that cat just about got squashed on the road there. I think the dog kind of scared it over to the other side, and then some traffic came along. But they've been doing as good as they can here. A lot of the issues with this place really are because it's now being surrounded by industrial
property, which I will show you in just a few minutes as we walk farther down the road, and you can see what I mean. You really will see what I mean. I got a nice little playground here, and I did look at the pool a few weeks ago, and while it used to be green, it looks like it's not in too bad a shape now, actually. Who knows? I might even think of going swimming. Before they dug that thing, I was thinking it'd really be nice. And then they never really maintained it. It just got nasty. And so I never had any desire to get in it. Because if they can cut corners on pool chemicals, I'm sure they would. I used to actually take care of pools myself when I managed condos in Hawaii. And before I ever would get in something, I would certainly test the water, see what it's like. I know our water here that comes out of the water tower has no chlorine in it at all. It has a huge amount, parts per million, up around like 1,000 parts per million of total dissolved solids, which is way above any kind of municipal standards. Any kind of drinkable water will be like 500. So you can't drink that. You really shouldn't use it for anything except for washing, cleaning, things like that. Flushing the toilet. And other than that, you need to get your water from the water stations or buy it at the store if you want to live a lifestyle of the rich and famous. Water station water is cheap, cheap, cheap. Those nice round bottles that we get, which are, I don't know how big those are. We switched to the round bottles instead of the, more like, I don't know what you call them, like a jerry can, because the round bottles don't leak as much, and you put a pump in the top. And okay, we're coming around the corner here, and I am going to show you what I mean by industrial development. Because since we have been here and they have added the warehouses for I don't know how many hectares, who knows if there must be 50 to 100 warehouses where there used to be fish ponds. So it's an incredible thing. But here right in front even, not back where the fish ponds used to be, they are just filling in everything. They used to grow some kind of reeds or something, and they would harvest those things, like you'd make hats and baskets out of. But not anymore. Those warehouses have apparently bought that land, and now there's a big warehouse. Now look at that. Can you see that up there? Can you see that roof of that warehouse? I'm going to get in here closer in a minute and you can see what I mean. But this warehouse virtually overhangs these houses. I mean, it must, see, look at that. Is that amazing? It's like right up to the property line, and there's that wall, but look at the roof. It almost looks like it hangs over the houses. I'm sure it doesn't, but wow. It's like incredible, huh? Well, what a deal. I'm sure the people that bought that never in their wildest dreams imagined that something like that could possibly be put in right behind their house, huh? That's the way it is, though. So if you're going to buy something, be aware any undeveloped land around can certainly change fast. It certainly can. We got our one remaining fish pond left by us, and we are happy to have it. So we hope that hangs in there forever, or at least for a few years more. But we have the condo in Marilao, and if they ever fill that thing in and we got a dust storm going 24 hours a day, we'll be out of here like a rocket. Till then, we're still enjoying the water of the last fish pond there. But look at that. Can you believe that? Warehouse right there. Right there. Right there above the houses, huh? Virtually above the houses, huh? And they put in these big walls. This wall here, see? It's incredible and unimaginable, 12 years ago, that's for sure. Cats don't seem to mind, I guess. Well, I'm on the way home, and Josie came home about right after I got home from this walk. So she is got her hair done, I guess nails and toes and all that stuff, So she enjoys it, doing that once in a while. And I enjoy taking a walk on a nice Sunday afternoon. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.